In this video, we're going to see what it took to make this TRS-80 go from this to this. I'm speeding up this part so we can get the TRS-80 open and get to the diagnosis part. Everything opened up pretty easily, pretty quickly, except when we got to the part where those little plastic pieces between the keyboard and the CPU, those were kind of stuck on, and it took a little bit of work using a wrench actually to get those off. I had to loosen them because they were kind of stuck. Z2 pin 3 should have 12 volts, so we're going to check that out. That's pin 3, that's Z2, that's pretty spot on. And then pin 3 of Z1 should have 5 volts. And that looks pretty spot on too. I mean, it could maybe be tweaked slightly, but I don't think that's the problem. It wasn't the problem, but I tweaked it to be closer to 5.00 volts anyway. After confirming we had the correct voltages, I thought, why not just try pushing on everything that's in a socket? Sometimes there's a little bit of a loose connection, and that can sometimes solve the problem. In this case, it didn't make any difference, but it was worth a try. Since it looks like we're dealing with some kind of video syncing issue, I got some information from a friend of mine which said to check these frequencies on these pins. So we'll just go down this list and check for these frequencies. Pin 11 will be that right there. And according to this, it's got, frequency, I don't know if you can see that, but that's 60 hertz, 59 point whatnot. That's really Z57 pin 8 should also have 60 hertz. So that's Z57 is here. Pin 8 here. Well, it's 60 hertz. It looks a little weird, but it's 60 hertz. So we'll say that's good for now. Z6 pin 8 should be 15.6 kilohertz. So Z6 pin 8 15.84 kilohertz. That seems reasonably close. And Z5 pin 8 should be a combination of these. So Z5 pin 8 here. So it should be a combination of those. Not sure how much of a combination that is, but it's I don't really see the don't see much of that. Since I really didn't have an idea what these waveforms should really look like, I had an idea. I have a known working TRS-80 Model I on the left, and I have the new one on the right that's not working. I can compare signals between the same pins and chips to compare the working one versus the non-working. Okay, so what I've done is I've tied the grounds between these two systems together so that it becomes very easy for me to go back and forth and compare signals. They're isolated through the transformer, so there's really no problem. Plus, I actually measured the voltage before connecting them together. Always a safe idea. I did a lot of going back and forth off camera and got to a point where there was a clear difference in signal. So Z6, pin 11 of the good one. Interesting, looks like that. And Z6, pin 11 here. Looks like that. Those two looked a little different, but I wanted to check some of the other pins. So let's look at Z6 pin 6 between both of those. So Z6 pin 6 on the good one looks like that, and Z6 pin 6 on this one looks like that. That looks good. Both of those look good. Okay, I found the issue. I don't know why I didn't see it earlier, but basically Z6 seems to have a problem. So according to the schematic, Z6 has an input at 11, output at 10, which goes to pin 9, which then goes to pin 8. So we're going to look at pins 11, 10, 9, and 8. So on the good machine, 11 looks like this. 11, 10, 9, and 8. That's how they look. And over here, we've got, let me get better positioned. Over here, we've got 11, 10, nothing, 9, nothing, and 8, which is this weird signal. So it looks like there's a dead something in here because these have nothing on them. So it's probably Z6. And here I've put a side by side. The good signal is on the left and the bad signal is on the right for Z6 pin 11. Here you can see I've removed the chip, cleaned the holes out, have a replacement chip with socket, and I'm soldering in the socket here, sped up. There's the socket, and there's the chip in the socket. So I'm turning it on now, and you can see there's some kind of a problem here. And if I press the reset, something is wrong. We don't know what yet, but at least the video is synced up. That's the good news. So there's multiple problems. I disconnected the ROM, and they say when you turn it on, you should just get a bunch of @ signs, which is what I got. So that's a good sign. So the next suggestion was checking the DRAM chips. These are them here, they're 8. I actually started taking out one, and then a miracle happened. I basically replaced this with a known good RAM chip, and then we go to the monitor, and there we go. We've got the memory size. And hitting return, it goes to there. So it's one bad memory chip, and now we have a working system. Actually, on closer inspection, I discovered that this pin is actually just broken. And if you look very carefully in here, you'll see that it's hard to tell, but that pin is still in there. So I began to wonder if it was broken to begin with, and maybe the RAM chip is still good. So I decided to do kind of an emergency repair and just solder on a little extra wire onto that RAM chip. Here I'm just trimming it to size, and then I'm going to insert it into the circuit board. And powering it on, we get that. So very good. It works. The keyboard's messing up on quite a few characters, so I'm going to go ahead and check the solder joints on that. In one of my other videos, I had to resolder all the connections. I'm not going to re-show that here because it's already over there, but that helped a lot of the keyboard bounce and the characters or keys that were not working. Here's an image of the completed repaired system, and here's an image of it back in the case. So I typed in a little program. The keyboard has quite a bit of bounce, but it does work. So with just a little bit of work, we now have a repaired working TRS-80 Model I. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and feel free to take a look at one of my other videos here. I do have other TRS-80 related content in my TRS-80 playlist.